what if I were to tell you that Luka Doncic is getting a screen from Derrick Jones Jr. on this play and still found a way to get some spacing to nail a step back mid-range shot? But now just imagine, instead of Derrick Jones Jr., you have Klay Thompson to space out the floor for you. That's when it gets a lot more lethal. Because if you look at it, in the NBA Finals, the Dallas Mavericks relied heavily on both Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic to get all the buckets. And well, that did not work well. And this LeBron metric shows you that Luka Doncic is at the top in terms of minutes and usage, and Kyrie Irving is a hefty third place as well. While on the other hand, the Boston Celtics had 5 players with pretty much similar usage rates. So this offseason, the Dallas Mavericks looked at these stats and saw that Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic were just being used a bit too much and they needed some help. So where do you go to get some help? This is Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson is a player that you could use in a lot of off-ball screens. He can curl off these screens to get you some fadeaway three-point shots, which are much needed in the playoffs. You have players like Daniel Gafford that can help you out with that. You also got Derek Lively, who's a lob threat. Both these Mavericks big men are very good at setting screens, and this just works very well with Klay Thompson. And well, last season, the Dallas Mavericks had PJ Washington playing in this Klay Thompson role. He would sit in the corner, set you some screens, play great defense, but when it comes to the time where you have to step up in the finals, that's something that PJ Washington didn't really do. A lot of people may be asking, Klay Thompson is washed, he is old, he's not as good anymore, but he still provides value. He is 38.1% on massive catch and shoot 3-point volume. So these are not wide open looks whatsoever, and Klay Thompson still gets buckets from these movement 3-pointers. And if we look at Klay's 3-point shooting talent over the years, yeah, it's dropped off a little bit, but it's still at 2.07, which is better than both his 2019 season and his 2022 season. And well, what if I was to tell you that Klay Thompson would provide the Dallas Mavericks with a little bit more playmaking as well? And did you know that Klay Thompson has been insane compared to other off-ball guards and wings when it comes to 3-point shooting and playmaking? Well, yeah, he stands as one of the best in the league, and this scatter plot is a prime example of it. The more top right you are in this chart, the better you are when it comes to 3-point shooting and playmaking, and well, he stands apart from the competition even in his worst seasons. But now I want to talk about a more juicy topic. This is how Klay Thompson is going to space the floor and help both Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving get better shots. And well, I'm going to show you another graph because this is going to help out a lot of people when it comes to looking at it. First of all, if you don't know what off-ball gravity is, it basically means how much attention you cause when you're on the court. And well, once again, Klay Thompson is at the very far right, sharing space with Stephen Curry and Luke Kennard. And if you think about it, that's what made the Golden State Warriors so good. That's why they won so many championships. They had multiple players on a roster that can space the floor out for you and bigs that could set you screens. And well, when I look at the Dallas Mavericks, they have exactly what I'm talking about. And this brings me on to the second acquisition for the Dallas Mavericks, and this is Naji Marshall. Probably one of the best signings I think the Mavericks have made in a long time. This dude is a floor spacer and shoots 41% from the corner 3. But his ability to knock down the 3-point shot is not why the Dallas Mavericks got him whatsoever. They got him because he has a 7'1" wingspan and uses it to pickpocket literally everybody. So when it comes to playoff time, instead of putting Klay Thompson on the best offensive player, they're going to put Naji Marshall on the best offensive player. And this in turn will cause Klay Thompson to have much more energy to withdraw on the offensive side. And in fact, when it comes to pickpocketing, Naji Marshall is the 3rd best player when it comes to that stat. But I think it would be even better if Naji Marshall was a little bit more athletic and could knock down the 3-pointer a little bit better when it comes to non-corner 3-pointers. But that's just something that he could work on, and I could see the Dallas Mavericks helping him out in that aspect of his game. Now we gotta talk about the third acquisition for the Dallas Mavericks, and this is a very similar player to Naji Marshall, and both of them have very good defense. His name is Quentin Grimes. And when it comes to the top 5 guards in matchup difficulty, well, Quentin Grimes is a healthy 5th place. Grimes has been guarding the highest caliber offensive players and still finds a way to convert on that end of things. But one thing that makes me very hopeful that Quentin Grimes is going to affect this Dallas Mavericks team is the jump in matchup difficulty. In 2022, he wasn't used to guarding the best of the best players, and that's why his matchup difficulty was only 0.05. But when you look at the 2023 season, his matchup difficulty skyrocketed up to 4.06%, and he handled it like a boss. That's why he's still playing in the NBA. But one thing a lot of people aren't talking about is the other effects that Klay Thompson has on your roster. You have a young guy in PJ Washington that could learn a lot when it comes to consistent three-point shooting at the highest of stages. And while Klay Thompson can help a lot with that, and PJ Washington talks about this, and he's really happy that Klay's on the roster.
Getting up shots with Klay, we saw when he was here. What's that going to be like, learning from him, knowing what you're going to be doing in terms of improving your three-point shot this offseason too?
It's going to be great. I mean, obviously he's one of the best three-point shooters of all time. So just to pick his brain about a bunch of different things, I think it's going to help my development in my career and obviously my teammates as well. So he's won 4 of them. So I think it's going to be great for us to learn a lot from him.
So guys, keep an eye out for PJ Washington's development this season. I love that Klay Thompson is willing to help him out already, and they're shooting around. But you guys may be asking, how in the world did Klay Thompson choose the Dallas Mavericks? Well, it came down to one thing: how Dallas treats their players and how they played in the playoffs.
Just a beautiful city who loves their hoops. So when I was watching the playoffs and I'm watching the Mavs, make a run for the championship, I just saw myself fitting in really well with this team and the personnel, and they look like they have fun playing with each other and they play for each other, and that was very attractive for me, and that's really all I needed to see, and there's mutual interest there, and that's why I'm here.
Well, now, ladies and gentlemen, Klay Thompson is here and he's ready to make a statement. There's been a lot of chatter around the league about Klay Thompson, a lot of Klay Thompson hate based on his shooting, where he had one bad game where he went like 0 for 10 from the three-pointer one game. These things happen, and I think that the Mavs could really use a player that has a chip on their shoulder, and Klay Thompson has that. But in the comment section, I want you guys to predict where the Dallas Mavericks will rank in the Western Conference. Are they a top 3 team in the West? And do you really think Klay Thompson is going to help out this roster? If you enjoyed today's video, you could do me a favor, just hit that subscribe and hit that like. It just helps the video out a lot. Thank you guys, and I'll catch you legends in the next one.